Hello, I'm Jenny Fern and welcome to my library. I'm a chaotic neutral mechanical engineer who's really into permaculture and wants to talk about books. So let's talk about books. Today is going to be my quarterly check-in for my reading goals. It is now spring, so I'm wearing my spring outfit. It's a little much, but we'll deal with it. It is a beautiful spring day today. My garden is so crazy lush. We have scattered thunderstorms today, so we have that kind of temperamental spring weather, and it has just been so lovely having longer days, having wonderful flowers everywhere. It has been so sweet. But let us catch up on my reading goals and get into what I've achieved, what I haven't achieved with the year so far with regards to reading. So I revisited my reading goals for the first time since I made them, and I looked at what I'd read so far and saw if it made sense. So my first reading goal for this year was to read more of the books from my shelf and from thrift stores. And I was guessing maybe like 35 to 40% of my reading should be from my shelves instead of from the library. This is not a goal to stop consumption or anything like that. I don't have a book buying problem. I do read a lot from the library, and last year I feel like I was really influenced by YouTube and Instagram to read specific books, and I would really rather pull from my own shelves at this point in my life and read what I have rather than read what other people generally are reading. So from the 34 books I've read so far this year, 12 of them were from my shelves, and that is 35%. So I'm just barely making this goal a reality. It's such a problem because manga, I don't own that much manga. There are numbers that are going to be skewed in the direction of library rentals because that's how I read my manga. There are also books that I read from the public domain and obviously from the library all the time. This is a difficult goal, I'm learning. My second goal was to read more science fiction. I was thinking maybe 2 a month. It's been 3 months, so I should have read 6. And if I was reading 1 a month, it would be 3. So let's see if I've read 3 to 6 sci-fi. No! I've read 2. I read Red Mars and Parable of the Sower, which are both kind of larger books, especially Red Mars. So I think I'm gonna cut myself a little bit of slack. I just didn't think really through how some science fiction tends to be quite long, and so maybe I'll be reading it for like quite a bit of a month, but I'm not reading multiple. The reason behind that goal was so that I would enjoy myself, and I really missed the feeling of reading great science fiction. And I had a wonderful time with Parable of the Sower, and I had a slightly less good time with Red Mars, but I do still have that passion for science fiction, and I want to tap into that this year. The next goal was to read more old and obscure books and books in the public domain. Okay. So definitely I've read books that are in the public domain. Wait, guys, I just found a really good list. This one sounds really interesting. The Wind Has Risen. Memoirs of a Fox Hunting Man. Okay, I'm getting so distracted, sorry. For this goal of reading more old and obscure books, I didn't put a percent or a number on that. And so what I can see when I look through my list, for something that I considered old and obscure, I had 1 book. For something that's old and classic, I had 3 books. And then for books that I specifically accessed through the public domain, Like, I didn't access them through my library. I accessed them through, like, this book is available to the public because it is old. That is 1.5 because one I haven't finished reading yet. Those are 2 plays for an upcoming video. They were plays that my great-grandmother was in when she was in high school. And I read one, which is called The Hoodoo, and one called Much Ado About Betty, I think is what it's called. And I'm still reading that one. That one's been taking me a really long time to read. I do think in general I am reading more obscure books. Like, they're not currently really actively talked about or anything. So I can go through the whole list of my books and we can kind of see what we think as a community. And then the 4th big goal was to maintain variety in my reading. And I've definitely done that. I've read plays, manga, classics, contemporary, fiction, and nonfiction. I've just read a huge breadth of different genres of book, and I do want to keep that up. Now I think I should just go through the list of all of the titles so that we can kind of see where I'm at right now. So I've read The Gift of the Deer by Helen Hoover, Earthlings by Sayaka Murata, Sparks Like Stars by Nadia Hashimi, Across the River and Into the Trees by Ernest Hemingway, Berserk Volume 1 by Kentaro Miura, A Sign of Affection Volume 1 by Sue Morishita, Every Falling Star by Sungju Lee, Cardcaptor Sakura Volume 1 by Clamp, There Is No Dog by Meg Rossif, Spy Family Volume 5 by Tatsuya Endo, Pluto Volume 1 by Naoki Urasawa, Pluto Volume 2, Berserk Volume 2, The Geography of Nowhere by James Howard Kunstler, The Virgin Suicides by Jeffrey Eugenides, The Hot Zone by Richard Preston, Black Swans by Eve Babbitt, Berserk Volume 3, Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler, Samari and the Guardian of the Forest Volume 4 by Yako Garashi, Samari and the Guardian of the Forest Volume 5, Haiku, a collection put together by Mary Dawson Hughes, A Room of One's Own by Virginia Woolf, Spy Family Volume 6, Berserk Volume 4, A Wild Swan by Michael Cunningham. That was a collection of short stories. Rental Person Who Does Nothing by Shoji Morimoto, The Hoodoo by Walter Ben Hare, The Sea Wolf by Jack London, Reality Is Not What It Seems by Carlo Rovelli, Samari in the Garden of the Forest Volume 6, Helgoland by Carlo Rovelli, Red Mars by Kim Stanley Robinson, and The Order of Time by Carlo Rovelli. I am in the midst of reading Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I had a great time reading that book, and then I put it down for several weeks now, and I haven't picked it back up, so I will pick that back up. I am also reading Much Ado About Betty, that play that I mentioned, and I am reading The Good Earth, which is about Chinese peasant farmers. I have also got from my library The Factory, which I'm so excited to read, but I haven't started it yet. And I have Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, which I haven't yet started reading. So then I had video goals. So I wanted to post at least one video per week, and I have done so. I have done a few weeks where I've posted 2 videos as well. I also wanted to balance the videos to attract new people, and then also have ones to like kind of have a good time and build community. So I think that's going okay. I have been able to attract more people, and I also have been making videos that I want to make. And I'm actually so happy that some of the videos that I really felt passionate about were also videos that did really well. Like, We Need More Books About Math did really well, and that is something that is important to me, and I liked I liked the idea, and it's about my kind of personality and everything, but it also brought a lot of people which I'm just so happy about. The other goal was to have more videos where my reading is centered around a video idea, and that would be with the caveat of like not only reading like popular books. I have done some really fun reading vlogs this year that are centered around a theme that I've had just a great time with, and that was the 1993 reading vlog. I really enjoyed. I also have been doing a handful of reading based on video ideas. One being reading based on my ancestors. So I've been reading those plays that my great-grandmother was in. So I'll catch y'all up on that in a future video. And then also reading your math and physics book recommendations, which is why I have so many Carlo Rovelli books that I've read recently, and why I'm also going to read Project Hail Mary, which of course is a popular book, but it is for a specific theme, and I've been having a really fun time centering my reading around themes that I'm interested in. Then I had a goal to photograph books in the spring and summer. I haven't done that at all yet. I haven't photographed a single book this year. I will. I'm sure I will. The days do have to get a little bit longer for me to be able to do that after I get home from work. And I've just been so enamored with the garden recently that I genuinely haven't really been wanting to like edit anything. I haven't been wanting to read in the home that much just because I want to be outside in the garden so much. And then I did mention this goal. I didn't have it in my notebook, but I was like, it would be so cool to hit 500 subscribers by the end of the year. And oh my goodness, we're at 400, and that is so exciting to me. I shared that with my husband and he was like, that's more than our graduating class of high school. And I was like, you're right. That is a lot of people. Like, I can picture the amount of people that is now, and that's a lot. So I'm so grateful. Unless something goes terribly wrong, I do think we're on track for 500 this year. So thank you so much, and I'm super grateful. I love being able to talk about books and be so passionate about books with people who are also so passionate about books and reading and are interested in the same things. I find so much pleasure in reading your comments, your book recommendations. They genuinely are shaping my reading life. I am reading the books that you recommend when I do a big call for recommendations, and it is really exciting. With all that said, I think I'm doing okay on my goals. I could maybe read a little bit more sci-fi or restructure that goal to be a little bit more lenient, because that would be a lot of my reading would be sci-fi. Okay, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did enjoy it, please consider sharing this with a friend who you think would also enjoy it. Consider liking and subscribing. And as always, I will talk to you again soon.